Kanchana Vallabha Girivaradari Yasoda Nandana Brajajana Ranjana Jamuna Tira Vanachari Jamuna Tira Vanachari Jaya Radha Madhava Kunja Vihari Jaya Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare 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 Krishna Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare Hare Prabhupada Jaya Prabhupada Jaya Prabhupada Jaya Prabhupada Jaya Vishma Barbahang Swabraj Gacharya also the C. Bhaktivedanta Swami Prabhupada Ki Jai Namacharya Haridas Thakur Ki Jai Param Sagaho Sri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda, Sri Advaita Gadadhar, Bhakti Jai, Sri Sri Radha Krishna, Rama Kunda Radha Kudi, Dan Ki Jai, Sri Vrindavan Dham Ki Jai, Navadvip Dham Ki Jai, Ganga Shamona Tulsi Bhakti Devi Ki Jai, Ananda Koti Vaishnava Vrinda Ki Jai, Samaveta Bhakti Vrinda Ki Jai, Go Premanandi. All glories to the assembled devotees, all glories to the assembled devotees, all glories to the assembled devotees. All glories to Sri Guru and Sri Gauranga, all glories to Srila Prabhupada. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Nama Om Vishnu Padaya Krishna Prasthaya Buddhade Srimati Bhaktivedanta Swami Nityanamane Namaste Saraswata Deve Gauravani Prachadane Nirvashesha Shunyavadi Paschatadesha Tadane Sri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Sri Advaita Gadadhar Shivasati Gaur Bhakta Vrinda Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare Hare. Free from Srimad Bhagavatam Canto 10, chapter 47, verse 44. Apye shatiha dasarhas tapta svakritaya sucha sanjivaya no gatraya yatendro vanam ambudhaya. Api, whether Ashyati, he will come, Iha, here, Dasarha, Krishna, the descendant of Dasarha. Tapta, who are tormented, Swakritaya, by his doing, Sucha, with sorrow, Sanjivayan, bringing back to life, Nu, perhaps, Na, us, Gatrai, with the touch of his limbs, Yata, as, Indra, Lord Indra, Vanam, forests, Ambudai, with clouds. Will that descendant of Dasarha return here and by the touch of his limbs bring back to life those who are now burning with the grief he himself has caused? Will he save us in that way, just as Lord Indra brings a forest back to life with his water-bearing clouds? But why should Krishna come here after winning a kingdom, killing his enemies, and marrying the daughters of kings? He's satisfied there, surrounded by all his friends and well-wishers. The great soul, Krishna, is the lord of the goddess of fortune, and he automatically achieves whatever he desires. How can we forest dwellers or any other women fulfill his purposes when he is already fulfilled within himself? Purport. Although the gopis lamented that Krishna was associating with the city women in Mathura, they now realize that as the absolute personality of God, it is no need for any woman. It is out of his causeless mercy that he awards his association to his loving devotees. Indeed, the greatest happiness is to renounce all desires, as even the prostitute Pingala has declared, that even though we know this, we cannot give up our hope of attaining Krishna. Report the story of Pingala is narrated in 11th canto, 8th chapter of Srimad Bhagavatam. Who can bear to give up intimate talks with Lord Uttama Sloka? Although he shows no interest in her, goddess Shri never moves from her place on his chest. Dear Uddhava Prabhu, when Krishna was here in the company of Sankarsana, he enjoyed all these rivers, hills, forests, cows, and flute sounds. All these remind us constantly of Nanda's son. Indeed, because we see Krishna's footprints, which are marked with divine symbols, we can never forget him. O Uddhava, how can we forget him when our hearts have been stolen away by the charming way he walks, his generous smile, and playful glances, and his honey-like words? O Master of the goddess of fortune, O Master of Vraja, O Destroyer of all suffering, Govinda, please lift your Gokul out of the ocean of distress in which it is drowning. Purport: Srila Vishnu Chakravarti presents the following insight into this scene. Someone might propose to the gopis, why don't you just go somewhere else, leave Vrindavan, and then you won't have to see these rivers, mountains, and forests. Cover your eyes with your garments, use your intelligence to lead your minds to some other thought, and thus forget Krishna. The gopis answer the suggestion in the previous verse by saying, we no longer possess our intelligence, for Krishna has taken it away by his supreme beauty and charm. Now, in the present verse, the feelings of the gopis become so strong that they disregard Uddhava, and turning towards Mathura, address Krishna himself with humble cries. They address Krishna as Vrajanath because in the past young Krishna performed many inconceivable pastimes to protect his beloved village people, such as lifting Govardhan Hill and destroying many monstrous demons. In this heart-rending verse, the gopis cry out to Krishna to remember this wonderful, sweet relationship they once enjoyed together as innocent village people. Indeed, Sri Krishna would lovingly take care of his father's cows, and the gopis appealed to him to remember these duties and return so he could resume them. So here we have the conclusion of the gopis. response to Uddhava, and then finally to Krishna. So in this verse, they express the idea that there's a doubt whether he will return or not. So they ask it as a question: will he come and relieve us and bring us back to life? Just as Indra pours water on the forest and brings it to life, so will he bring us to life? But then a doubt arises: why should he come here at all? Because there he's got a kingdom, he's killed more demons, and then he'll marry daughters of kings, etc. So he has full satisfaction there. So why will he come back? And anyway, here they address him as Supreme Lord, that he's actually independent of everything. He is the wife of the goddess of fortune, but even her he disregards. So what to speak of other women? Why should he come back just for us? So in this way, they express their own lack of qualification, that how can we attract the Supreme Lord when he's not even attracted to Lakshmi, goddess of fortune? So here we see that there is a recognition of Krishna as Supreme Lord, since he is Shripati. So sometimes the Gopis and other, particularly the Gopis, but even others, sometimes there seems to be a recognition of Krishna as the Supreme Lord. So it's explained that out of a great pain and separation, sometimes they get this type of realization, and it gives them some sort of consolation. But when they return to normal consciousness, they forget about that. So, because they are perfect devotees, they are capable of having all knowledge, but usually it's all covered over. So sometimes it appears, and we'll see sometimes they will address Krishna with different names which indicate he's Supreme Lord, like Bhagavan, Paramatma, etc. So, creator of the universe or whatever. But that's a temporary realization, and then later on they will forget it when they return to normal. So the Gopis here are full of anxiety, so therefore such a thought arises in them, and they address him as Supreme Lord. He is, of course, we find that Uddhava also, in the superficial meaning of the verse, indicates Krishna's like supreme and whatever like that, and he's Paramatma, and you meditate on him and everything like that. So sometimes these ideas get introduced. But as we saw, that the Gopis were not really satisfied with that type of explanation, and in his capacity as Supreme Lord, though he is all-pervading, they really don't care about that. They simply want the presence of Krishna. And here also, though they may address him as Supreme Lord and whatever, it has another purpose, and that is to show that as Supreme Lord, he would be rather indifferent to everyone because he's self-satisfied. The nature of the Lord is he is satisfied in himself. So that is why even Lakshmi is somewhat, you'd say, disappointed, because he is completely detached from everything. So, in this way we have the Gopis expressing themselves. And then they even mention Pingala, who was a prostitute, who finally realized that the whole of material life is useless and we should give up attachment to everything. So they cite that as an example. One should simply renounce everything, even Krishna. But then they say we can't do it. We know that, yes, we should be detached from everything and then we get peace. But we cannot do that. We always have this idea that we must attain Krishna. So the normal ideas about spiritual life and detachment do not apply in this case.
though they think of themselves as ordinary people, at the same time, their attachment to Krishna is not to be criticized at all and should not be rejected. Rather, it is most praiseworthy. So the fact they cannot give up that attachment is a great quality. It's not a sign of weakness at all. They are completely detached from everything in the material world, even their families and husbands and children, but they're completely attached to Krishna. So therefore, the normal idea of be detached from everything does not apply in this case at all. So they actually have a very good quality of being completely attached to Krishna at all times, in spite of all discouragements. So they say that they remain in Vrindavan, and by seeing that place, they constantly remember him. They see his footprints, or they see the cows, and immediately it is a reminder of Krishna. So that remembrance of the Lord has two aspects. One, it is painful because they're separated from him and all they have is the memory. But on the other hand, it is also a consolation because the memory of the person is some sort of comfort when one is separated. So in separation, the only consolation is to remember the object of love. So by staying in Vrindavan, they can constantly remember Krishna by seeing the various things like the cows and the hills and whatever, forests and whatever. So they will never give up that place. So they end this their statement by calling out to Krishna, Hey Nata, Hey Ramanata, Rajanata, Artinasana, Govinda. So that calling out is actually what we call Nama-Sankirtan. Nama literally means calling out the name of the Lord. Of course, we can have different types of kirtan. We can have Lila Kirtan, in which different pastimes of the Lord are described, and this is sung. Or we can have Guna Kirtan, glorification of the qualities of the Lord, or even Rupa Kirtan, glorification of the form of the Lord. But we also have Nama-Sankirtan, glorification simply we're reciting the name of the Lord. So generally, words have to be connected. We make sentences. We don't just mention an object like flower. Okay, what about the flower? So if the flower is a rose or the flower is pink, we make a statement. And we have grammatical rules to connect the different elements of the statement. We have subjects and objects and verbs, etc. in English, and then Sanskrit you also have certain endings to indicate the relationship of the words to the verb. So that's the normal, and so when you do Lila Kirtan or Guna Kirtan, you have to use grammatical statements to do so. Nama is simply the name of the Lord. I guess we say rose, but then what? So the only way it is expressed is by calling out. We call out to Krishna. Krishna. So it's calling out to Krishna. So that's a grammatical case, also called sabmodana, calling out. Or if you take the rose, you're addressing the rose, you say rose. So this is what nama is. It's the word with no verb and no relationship with other words, just calling out. So we call out to a particular, usually persons. So we call out to Supreme Lord, we call out to Krishna. So that is Nama-Sankirtan. So though we call it Mahamantra, actually it is Nama. Krishna, Rama. It's calling out to Krishna, calling out to Rama, Hare, calling out to Hara as Hare. So it's simply calling out. So that again, the Mahamantra is actually Nama. So this is very powerful and also very flexible. when we have words in a sentence and we have to connect them grammatically, whatever like that, so it requires some knowledge and some skill to compose sentences properly. And in Sanskrit, then you have to make verses, etc. So it requires some skill and knowledge. And if we have real mantras, then those mantras are also, they involve a verb form like namaha or swaha, and then we have to connect the words to the nouns to that word, like a Vasudevaya. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. So there are certain endings on the Bhagavate and Vasudevaya. That's what we call the dative case. So, but those, that requires grammatical knowledge also, and particularly these become Diksha mantras. And you don't say them aloud. They're given by the Guru only, and you say them silently. So that is what we call mantra. It has the name of the Lord in it, but with some grammatical, alteration, whatever. So Nama is simply name, and does not require initiation, not secret. Everyone can say the names. And mantras are particular. Of course, they're given in Shastra. I said names, and so many names are there. Simply describing the Lord and His qualities and His form, etc. And we can have infinite number of names. So it's a very free form of expression of respect for the Lord and worship of the Lord. So this is the simplest possible form because it's only names. I call out the name of Krishna, Rama, Vishnu, etc. And additionally, it doesn't, no rules. Anyone can do it. And you can say it loudly, publicly, whereas the mantras are all secret. Right? So, though it is simple and it is public, it is also most powerful. So, of course, the mantras also have the name of the Lord, so in that sense they're also powerful. But it is said that the names of the Lord are even more powerful than the mantras. We have Krishna mantra, but simply calling out the name of Krishna is even more powerful, even though it's public and loud and whatever, doesn't require diksha. So the name is very, very important in worship because it's so powerful and flexible. Everyone can pronounce it. So we see here, as in separation from Krishna when in the Ras Leela, the Gopis called out the names of Krishna. So here again, they're just simply calling out the names of Krishna. A very, very powerful means that sadhana, and a very powerful expression in the highest prema, in separation. The Gopis are calling out the name of Krishna also. So they're doing Nama-Sankirtan. So it is a sadhana, but it is also sadhya. The topmost devotees in the most intense situation are calling out the names of the Lord. So very, very powerful process, a very high process. So of course they call out to express their feelings for Krishna. Now they've already spoken and whatever, like to Uddhava, but now they condense all of that in calling out his names. So by calling out his Krishna's names, they express their intense love for Krishna. And they do this very spontaneously. So these efforts of the gopis, these, we can say they're anubhavas, calling out the name of the Lord, are very, very powerful to invoke Krishna. We see in the case of the Ras Leela, then Krishna suddenly appeared. So it was very, very powerful. Here he doesn't immediately appear. Nevertheless, there's great power in these words, and eventually, later on, he does appear. So it is very fitting that, as with the Ras Leela, when they were separated, the conclusion here is the chanting the names of the Lord. And of course, they use particular words which are suitable for themselves, the gopis. They use some general words, and they also use some particular words, like Natha, which simply means master. So this can apply to any form of the Lord, obviously. But they take Krishna as their husband in that sense. He is their lover. And Ramanatha, of course, this can be Lord of Lakshmi, goddess of fortune. But of course, Rama also refers to any form, female form like Radha, or any of the Gopis, any of the Shaktis of the Lord, like that. So he is the master of all the Gopis and all the women of Vrindavan. And he is Vrajanatha. He is also the master of all the other persons in Vrindavan. In other words, he is the object of love of every living entity in Vrindavan. And Artinasana, which means he destroys pain. Now that, of course, is applicable to any form of the Lord because they deliver jivas in the material world from suffering. But in this case, it doesn't refer to that. This is, he should deliver them from the pain of separation. Well, this is not the suffering of the material world due to conditioning and ignorance. This is a pain of separation. So he should deliver the Gopis and the people of Vrindavan from the pain of separation by coming there. So this applies particularly to this situation. And then they call out Govinda, which, of course, is a common name of the Lord. So one is he gives enjoyment to the cows, so it recalls his pastimes as a cowherd. And particularly, Krishna got this name Govinda when, after he lifted Govardhan Hill. And then later on, Indra came along with Surabhi. And then he got the name Govinda at that time. So it refers to the Krishna in Vrindavan particularly as a cowherd, and it also recalls the Govardhan Leela where he protected all the people. And they as well as say the names of the Lord, they also give a request. Please deliver Gokula, which is submerged in this an ocean of distress, of separation. So they, in other words, they don't think only of themselves; they think of all the people of Vrindavan. So they're not selfish at all. So the request that Krishna should appear is for themselves, but for everyone else as well, because everyone is suffering. So in this way, they express a great generosity also and humility in their request. So as explained in the purport, the Gopis suddenly ignore Uddhava, and they directly call out to Krishna. They point towards Mathura and start calling out to Krishna. So this again is, we can say, due to their ecstasy and separation. They forget about Uddhava completely, and after talking about Krishna and remembering him and talking about how everything in Vrindavan reminds them of him, then suddenly they just call out to Krishna directly, as if he's, they can speak to him. So in a sense, it's also something like a type of madness, where in the Ras Leela, when they're separated from Krishna, they start calling out, and then they start addressing the trees and the creepers and everything, and the animals in some sort of madness, asking where is Krishna. So here also a type of madness, just as Radha addressed the bee previously and spoke to the bee about thinking it was Krishna's messenger. So here also they forget everything and they simply start speaking directly to Krishna even though he's not there, imagining he is there. So in this way they express their great feelings of love for Krishna, expressed through the pain of separation.
viewers, it seems that it's not the one Gopis statement. One by one, Gopis started speaking about all the things, like this line, because one statement is not connected to another statement.
Well, here it's not particularly mentioned.
Yeah,
In the Song of the Gopis, etc., Gopi Gita, etc., usually that's taken as different gopis speaking or whatever. Here it doesn't really say. This says the gopis spoke, so we don't know who actually was speaking there.
Because
Whether it was
statement is
different
not
gopis or one gopi or whatever.
Another question, Maharaj, you are saying this regarding this Hare Krishna Mahamantra or Nama. I think in Chaitanya Charitamrita there is a mention of this mantra, not the Nama. Even Kali Santran Upanishad said it's in Nama, Shodashakam Nam.
Yeah.
So there is a contradiction between Nama and mantra. So what is this? It's a Nama and mantra.
Why do we call it Mahamantra?
Sometimes we say mantra, sometimes it's Nama.
Well, mantra mainly because of Mahamantra. We call it Mahamantra. Well, but that's in the sense that the general meaning of mantra is deliver the mind or whatever like that. So obviously, chanting the name also delivers the mind or whatever. So the effect is the same in that sense. And it is also sound vibration. So in that sense, you can say mantra in a very general sense. But often, like in Chaitanya Charitamrita, when we talk about mantra and nama, then definitely there's a distinction between the two. And then nam has precedence or more power than mantra.
See, Chaitanya Mahaprabhu said that Japita mantra, this, he was saying that by chanting this mantra, he didn't say the Nama there.
Yeah, but which mantra he was mentioning there? That was his Diksha mantra?
Hare Krishna Mahamantra.
No, but it's not mentioned in.
Yeah,
it's not
mantra.
It's not mentioned at all, Hare Krishna, in the whole of Chaitanya Charitamrita. Chaitanya Bhagavat, yes.
Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, there is a statement about this.
But they call it mantra there, or they call it nam?
Chaitanya Charitamrita says it's mantra. But which mantra, we don't know what mantra he was chanting.
If it's referring to Diksha, then it would be the Diksha mantra.
So does it mean that, because, see, Chaitanya Mahaprabhu got initiation from Ishwar Puri. So means he said he got a Krishna mantra, but maybe this is Gayatri mantra, we don't know. Not a Hare Krishna Mahamantra.
Yeah, he got Diksha, so he got mantra.
That means that is
Yeah,
Gayatri
18
mantra.
syllable mantra.
That is Gayatri mantra, not this Hare Krishna Mahamantra.
Yeah, definitely. Yeah, because that's Diksha. It even says Gopal mantra there or something like that, I think, yeah?
And regarding then, you are saying this even to chant this mantra, Hare Krishna, no need initiation, when there is a statement also. So that if there is no initiation, then how one will connect with the Guru Parampara?
What's that?
How can one will connect with the Guru Parampara if there is no initiation process?
If there isn't.
If there is no initiation process, how one will connect with the Guru Parampara?
We have Shiksha, as we connect Jagannath Das Babaji and Bhaktivinoda Thakur. There's no Diksha there. Shiksha. He had a Diksha Guru, but we don't mention that. Bepan Bihari Goswami.
Still he got initiation.
Yeah, but we don't connect our Sampradaya through that. We don't. Others would. They would connect Bhaktivinoda through his Diksha Guru, and it would go probably through Janava's line or something like that, probably.
Means, then there will be, people will come to ISKCON. Yeah, we have taken Shiksha, no need initiation.
Yeah.
This will happen, Then how to reconcile it? Is it really necessary initiation or not? Because so many people has this.
Well,
idea.
if we follow Lord Chaitanya, then his emphasis is on Harinam, is it not? Which does not require initiation. But it does require teachings. So in that sense, the Shiksha Guru is essential. Now, you could have a Diksha Guru. If the Diksha Guru doesn't teach anything, then it's rather useless also, is it not? Because he gives you a Diksha mantra, and you chant the Diksha mantra, but that's not our Yuga Dharma. And he doesn't give you any teachings, then, well, what? It doesn't function very well as spiritual life. Of course, one could, if one is only doing deity worship, fine, then one could do that. But as far as following Lord Chaitanya's instruction, then the main thing is chanting Hare Krishna and getting teachings for that. So in that sense, more important. Now, we don't reject the Diksha and deity worship. They go along together. They support each other. but at the same time we give prominence to chanting the name.
Nowadays we see even Guru, when he gives special first initiation, he said the devotees that they open your right ear or left ear, I don't remember, then hear that name what I am giving. So means that the name is coming from the Guru only.
What's that?
That when even during initiation, first initiation, we see this Guru saying to the disciple, please open your right ear or left ear and please hear what I'm saying. Something like that is happening now in this con.
Oh, I see. I don't know. Well,
Yeah,
I
it's
don't know.
happening.
Prabhupada didn't say it,
I don't know.
so I don't know. It's not a real initiation of what, though? Hare Krishna? Because they're already chanting Hare Krishna. They have to chant 16 rounds to get that far. So they've already heard the holy name, they already got it. It's not that they're getting it. Diksha, you haven't got it, and then you get it at that time, and it's called Diksha. So they've been chanting 16 rounds of Hare Krishna before this first ceremony. So it's not an initiation of Hare Krishna in that sense.
You can see, before Srila Prabhupada, this first initiation was not there at all.
Yeah, there's a ceremony of one sense in Bhakti Siddhanta Saraswati. They don't call it initiation. Harinam Dan.
Harinam?
Dan,
Done, okay.
giving the name.
So, but Prabhupada made as like a compulsory also initiation process. This is the initiation now.
Yeah, first step.
So he's not changing the, what do you call this, statement of his own Guru. Just like in Bhakti.
Well, it's the same ceremony, basically. But the name is different. They don't call it initiation in Gaudiya Math. Bhakti Siddhanta Saraswati. But basically do the same thing. Except for fire sacrifice, they don't do fire sacrifice.